I thought they did a good job. I thought, we got a really new room. 3/4 of those guys are new into it, with Cam being the guy who's really been in it, hasn't played much, but been in the room before. And so we challenged them with a lot of reps. We balanced them out in a way that could give us a pretty good feedback into where we are, where they are. Challenge them with a multitude of mixture of combinations of the people around. I thought they did a really good job. From newest guys and Jake to being a guy who still should be in high school, to Cutter, who's coming from another Division I college and coming into a new system, and Mikey, same thing, a really big vet with over 1,000 reps in college football, and then Cam hadn't already been here. So we challenged those guys. I thought they did a really good job. They've got a nice chunk of foundation to carry it into summer, and even through the one thing that happens in spring with so many new guys is you can even get to practice 15 and you get to the end of the last 10 minutes of practice in that last practice and there's still something we're correcting. And I think at the end of the day, that process is where we got to be with such a young group, because there's a lot of time left with these guys. There's a lot of time to be developed still, a lot of time they got to put in together. We're nowhere near a rival. They've got a summer PRP plan and a fall training and all that stuff before we get anywhere. But the quarterbacks did a nice job of being demanding and sitting in there and letting me be really critical of them every day.
From the start of spring to the end of spring, how much have you seen Jake grow?
Yeah, leaps and bounds. I mean, that you're coming out of high school. There's so many things that you can get better with. I think the demand of the position. I think the demand of college football. There's a lot of little things that kind of, when you're coming out of high school, you probably catch you off guard. Everything from the regimen, the time, to the meetings. I mean, an hour and a half quarterback meeting in high school with that demand is not regular. And so to be able to keep your concentration in something like that, to be able to look back and start every practice and every meeting with that same vigor, like, oh my gosh, here we go. The digestion of it all becomes a lot for a young guy. And for him to sit in there and continually get a little bit better each day, to take that critiquing and to be able to push through and have successful days late in camp are really good. There's some really good things, him responding, bouncing back from maybe a couple things they'd been wrong. But for a high school freshman who's going to be in prom, in a month probably, is always fun to kind of see where they go.
Is there anything about those four guys that surprised you?
No, I think not a real surprise. Thank God. I think you're hoping that you evaluated them. You've progressed with certain guys the right way. You're hoping that you go look for a veteran guy in Mikey, and you hope you get that, and we got that. You hope that Jake comes in as a young freshman, and you know what you're going to deal with, and you're going to go, okay, you're going to have some bumps and bruises, but we're going to see what we thought we saw, and in our evaluation, you're going to see what you saw in the evaluation of Cutter after 1 year, and hopefully you see some things that are a little bit faster because he's played football, and he can step in and have those things not be as maybe as bright and fast as they are to Jake. We saw those things, so I don't think there's anything really shocking other than the fact that I just love the way that they competed, love the way that they came in. They really connected to the team. I think the unit, that's a really important piece of spring ball with the quarterbacks that we're asking them to do is get connected to their guys, because right now is when they start building the glue with a lot of guys they don't know, and there's so much more time spent with each other than there is really in a lot of other places. They're around each other all the time, and you gotta learn to not get sick of each other and learn to lean in and have some fights and discussions and move on and really mature in your relationships, because that's really what we've built it on here, as we know. That we've built this thing, coaches built this thing with the connection between players, and that's why we play so hard and play for each other.
How is Mikey's veteran presence?
Bam, corner fire.
How has Mikey's veteran presence just boosted the quarterback room as a whole?
Veteran presence, I mean, it just, the reps are, you can't replicate reps. You can't take 1,000 reps in college football and not have them be really evidence to a guy who knows what's going on. It's as simple as breaking the huddle or calling plays, having command, for the young guys to see it, for guys around them, for the O-line, for a lot of the new guys to see what those reps look like after you have them, regardless of where you're at, is really evident. And I think that's really good for us.
How have you seen Cam Dyer's just progression coming back from injury? How have you seen him step up as a leader and get mentorship from Mikey King?
Yeah, Cam's done a great job. Cam's a guy that has been coming off injury, finally got into the bowl prep. in a big way, and now going into the first spring ball where it's really active at the position. He's grown leaps and bounds from where he was at and does a really good job of competing and communicating with those guys. So I'm proud of Cam's work so far.
Hey, Coach, have you continued to see what you want to see out of the running back room to make you feel comfortable about running more 2021 personnel this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys. We've got obviously a good group that's bolstered, healthy SIP, and some guys who can really come in and add some real juice to the group. I think there's not a real difference in a lot of them at all. Too, they can all kind of do it all, which is awesome. So you can be multiple in that regard. You know, thinking you've got to be handcuffed in certain aspects. A couple new guys, Carde and Keese. That really have come in and presented some things that we really feel good about the evaluation and the traits they've got that can help us. So I'm excited as heck about the running back room, especially the way we do it.
Got Cam here. Ready to go.
See you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.